All right, y'all, listen to that indie comic book guy. My name is Arthur. With me, I have a very special guest, writer, illustrator, comic book artist, now comic book store owner, Lashawn Colvin. Did I get it right?
You did. You got it.
Okay. Now, the big news is, aside from, well, you keep having big news after big news. You just opened a comic book shop, the first comic book shop owned by a black woman in the South, and it got a lot of buzz. And it's not just a comic book shop; it's also a juice lounge. Am I correct?
Yes, it's a comic book store and beverage slash gaming lounge. So it's different. It's different venues. You know, you got the comic books. That's the heart of the store, and then the beverages where I'm going to be eventually. Right now, it's just kind of like I have frozen drinks there now while I'm getting everything ready for the health department. But it's going to turn into like a smoothie cafe. Um, and then I have the lounge part where I'm going to be hosting like weekly events like the karaoke nights and the anime night and the movie night.
Nice.
Then the gaming area, that's a whole nother little area where I want to do like my tournaments and all type of fun things like that.
I like that. See, that's how more comic book shops should be. Now, today we're going to talk about the Kickstarter for your book, Beautiful Soldiers. We'll get back to the shop in a little bit because I want people to definitely stop by, buy some merch, buy some comics, and definitely support the shop. But I want to get into this Kickstarter because you've been working hard. I got to know who you are probably around 2016. Yeah, 2016, and you
Okay.
were editing books for Short Fuse Media. So let's talk about your humble beginnings. What led you to decide, hey, I want to make comics, I want to be a part of this world? What kind of led up to that?
Honestly, like it started like from like a young age and it just never went away. You know, most people say like when you're a kid and you into watching cartoons and reading, you know, kid books or whatever you do as a kid, you're supposed to grow up. Well, I never grew up. So, you know, it kind of started from there. And I just never stopped loving, you know, Power Rangers, and I never stopped loving anime, and I definitely never stopped loving video games, and superheroes and comics, and just being around all of that pop culture. It's just, oh my God, it's like the best feeling ever. So it really started from there.
I love that. I love that. See, and that's a great segue. I'm glad you said that because I
Hmm.
read a Teen Vogue article. It was called Megan the Stallion in Anime or Male Gatekeeping on Fandom Spaces. And basically, this article in Teen Vogue, of all places, it was people were mad because she posted a picture of herself on Instagram in cosplay. And some idiot was like, oh, she just did that for clout. Black
No,
women really aren't into anime, and so forth. What do you think of that?
I think that is crazy. If people actually follow Megan and actually learn about her, she is actually a geek, and she reads anime, manga. She watches anime. Naruto is one of her favorite animes, and she loves gaming. She's a gamer girl too. So she did not do that for clout. She is. It probably looked like that because she's like a celebrity now, and she. I mean, has she just been a regular cosplayer? They never would have said that. They would. Let's say she was a regular cosplayer. Nobody knew who she was. They just happened to see that picture. They would just think it's what a cosplayer dressing up as Melina.
Exactly. It's the craziest thing because, like you said, she's a celebrity. What
Mhm.
clout does she need from the nerd
The
community?
nerd,
Like,
if anything, she is representing the nerd community because she's always shouting out geeks in her music.
exactly. And
I
they
think
have the audacity to say that black women aren't into uh, the nerd stuff, whether it's video games, comics, and so forth. it was a long, drawn out discussion. What do you have you ever had people approach you like that? Like, oh, you're not really into comics, or you're not really into games.
Um, I have when guys meet me. They are so shocked that I'm into gaming and comics and that I'm a geek because I don't look like your typical nerd. I'm very, I mean, as they put it, like glamorous.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm not supposed to be into that stuff because, I like to get my nails done or I wear a lot of makeup or I get my hair done.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right. So when guys do find out that I'm into that, they be like, "Oh wow!" Like they shocked. I'm like, "Why are you shocked?" Girls can be into games and a lot of stuff. So it's just kind of like let me see. I'm trying to think of a good example. Um, it's just kind of like I guess like it is very you know, male oriented. So you know. Um, I would say at my store, I have a lot of little girls and a lot of young girls come in with their dads and stuff, and they look.
Oh,
And it's been so. It's I would say like at least on two or three occasions when these little girls have came in, they look so nervous to be there and like embarrassed and from talking to the parents it's like you know they're afraid to let it be known that they like comics and superheroes. They're actually kind of scared. So I've actually started like a little club at my store where I'm starting a club at my store where it's for young girls who want to meet other little girls and possibly befriend each other and be into comics together.
see, my respect level for you just keeps growing and growing. Like, I don't know if anybody told you this, or even if you realize this, you are a role model.
Oh wow, thank you.
And
I, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, oh wow, thank you. I do appreciate that, and I have been told that before, but honestly, art, I don't really, I don't know, I don't see it.
That's because you're just doing what you feel is natural to you. You grew up loving, pop culture, and you're like, hey, I want to create things as well. And now you're taking on an ownership, you know, uh, in this store. So it's like you're just doing things that are natural to Lashawn. And even though you don't realize that that's inspiring to not just little girls, but little boys and people of color, everybody. Like, my hat goes off to you. Like, you're inspiring me. Like, wow.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. I think it is really good too. Well, you know what? Okay, like okay, when I be on my live or something on Facebook sometime, like I'm a I'm a cusser. I love to cuss. It tastes good in my mouth. Okay. I am a cusser. And sometimes I'll cuss on my live, but lately I had to stop it because like I found out that it's younger kids that actually be watching me. And I didn't know that because I had a parent had actually told me, it's like, oh, my little, when you be on live, I show my daughter so she can see the store, see what you're doing. And I didn't know if you knew that, she'd be on there. And I said, I had apologized because I didn't know. So now I have to kind of watch what I say. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So hearing you say that now kind of, because I'm just being me. But now, as I am trying to put myself even more like in the spotlight or in the forefront of people knowing and then possibly following what I do, I am being more careful with that.
No, I respect that a lot.
Yeah.
Now, let's get back to Beautiful Soldiers. Well, before that, because we're still going through the history. What was, when did you decide to take this up as a profession? Whether it's the writing, the art, the editing, when did you decide, you know what, I read the book, seen movies, I want to create? What led to the creation, you as a professional?
That was in early 2014 is when I crossed into the professional realm. At the time, I was working on. I was because I'm an artist. A lot of people don't really know this because I don't promote myself as an artist like I did years ago. But when people found out that I can draw and I can draw very well, they are like shocked. That's another thing. They just so shocked that I can draw. But when I got into comics as a artist, and I was working on. There was a DC editor at the time that I was talking to, and he was having me work on a portfolio for Wonder Woman because I was trying to get some illustrative work with DC. And then I ended up meeting another editor, a woman, a black woman. Her name was Lisa Marie. She ended up talking to me because I always wanted to create a team of women superheroes. Always, ever since I saw Sailor Moon in the '90s on TV. Because Beautiful Soldiers, that's where the inspiration comes from, is Sailor Moon. And a lot of people will be able to see that when they read the book. They'll see the little nods that I give to Sailor Moon or the little references that I attribute to Sailor Moon in my book. And basically, to make long story short, she was like, "Well, why don't you create your own book?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." And she was like, "Yeah, you create your own." So I kind of stopped working on my little portfolio for Wonder Woman and started working on Beautiful Soldiers. And one of the things that I always had problems with was drawing hands, fingers, and feet. That is my weakness as an artist. And if people look at my old drawings back in 2011 and 2012 and 2010, I would always draw them with their hands behind their back.
Ah.
So I knew if I wanted people to take me serious, that's something I'm gonna have to work on. And
Mhm.
for an artist, the saying "practice makes perfect." That is so true. That is so true. When I tell you, I practice and practice and practice and practice and practice, and now hands and feet are just easy as hell to draw. I don't have no problems drawing that at all. And so that's when I started working on my designs for Beautiful Soldiers, trying to get their looks together, get who they are, their personalities and stuff together. And I oh my God, oh just thinking about everything in the past that I did, I was promote myself in them drawings. Oh my God, heavy. I'm talking heavily. Like in almost every Facebook group that I can join. I was in so many people's inbox. I was like a rookie. I was a newbie, just trying to get as much knowledge as I could and talk to as many people who were in comics as I could. And it was, looking at it now, it's a very humbling experience. That's why whenever I get anybody to message me and they're looking for just guidance, I make sure I give it to them.
Nah, I like that. I like that. See, you have an amazing story. Your backstory as far as where you came. I watched the interview you did last night, and you said that you've been working on Beautiful Soldiers for like 7, 8 years.
Um, I I said 8 years, but in actuality, if I go back to the very first time I put pen to paper and started working on it, it would be 2011. So almost a decade I've been working.
Wow.
And yes, I put so much energy into Beautiful Soldiers. And one of the things that I told the interviewer that I was in last night is that I put a lot of money and a lot of time into it and a lot of sacrifices. And one of the sacrifices that I made was I before my mother passed this year, I was living in an apartment for like 3 years. I don't have any children. I ain't got no man. It's just me and my dog Zena. Um, we were at my apartment I had my apartment for 3 years, and I didn't have any hot water or gas at all, like none.
That is crazy.
In the
But
win
that's
in the winters, I would have to go to Walmart and get a little heater, and I would keep the heater by my bed. And then for my showers, I would have to boil water, or and take a bath, or if I wanted to take a shower, it would have to be a cold shower. And I did that for 3 years. And it was not because I could not afford to pay my bills, because I could. I was a manager at Walmart. I was making at least enough money to pay all my bills. But um, that was a sacrifice that I made, because I wanted to come up with a way to minimize as much bills as I could, so I can put as much money to my art team. Because when you see Beautiful Soldiers, them artists, them mainstream artists working with these big time publishers are not cheap.
no,
And,
they're not. They're not at all.
but I wanted Beautiful Soldiers to have that quality and standard and be able to stand toe to toe with any single book in this world and still shine on their own.
I know that's right. You're taking us to church now.
Oh,
See,
so,
that's what you just described is something that people do not talk about. They do not talk about the sacrifices that we as independent creators make to create our art.
hmm
And Most Def, who used to be a rapper, I don't know what he does now. He used to call it the beautiful struggle because he said you'll appreciate those struggles and those sacrifices later on in life once you made it to where you want to go.
hmm
And you mentioned your mom passing away, and I am sorry to hear that. My mom passed away in May of this
oh my God, I didn't know that.
year. Yeah, she passed away. She passed away in May, and I got married this year, so didn't get to meet. She didn't get to go to our wedding,
Oh wow.
and because with this COVID and everything, but she got to meet my wife once before,
hmm
years ago. So I was happy that she at least got to meet her. But when your mom passes away, it's part of you passes away as well, and you have to remember sometimes those things that she taught you to help you keep going forward.
Yeah, that's true. You have to. And one of the things that really kind of my mom didn't know that it's like I'd never told my family, nobody. Only one person knew about the hot water and the heater, and that's Andrea Smith. She's my co-editor on Beautiful Soldiers, and she's also a close friend. And she's the only person that knew that I didn't have no hot water or gas. And I didn't have no food in my refrigerator either. Like none. The whole 3 years that I was at my apartment, the only thing that was in that refrigerator was water and sugar.
Oh, we not even noodles,
And
nothing.
I kept noodles now. That's my one. So, you know. But it was only because I was like, I gotta get this book done. I got to get this book done. And, you know, that was all I cared about. Like I sacrificed relationships. I sacrificed a social life. I sacrificed um everything for my book. And, people don't know that.
That's respect. That's respect. Now, how did you link up with Short Fuse Media?
I linked up with Short Fuse Media through Dorothy's Jean. She had started following me, like, I want to say like a whole year or so before me and her ever even connected. Like I was keeping up with what she was doing with Spirit Destiny. She definitely was keeping up with Beautiful Soldier. She was a big fan of Beautiful Soldiers. And then later on, there was somebody named Josh. He was a white guy with glasses.
Josh, the white guy with glasses.
Yeah, he was an editor with Short Fuse, and he posted a video talking about needing help. And Short Fuse had did like some little job thing where they were taking applications, but Dorothy's honey, she, when I tell you she fought for me to get that little position, and they, of course, listened to her and contacted me. And I spoke with Josh, and we had our little talk. And I remember what I told Dorothy. I said, "Well, girl, I'm not worried about it because if they're smart, they're going to choose me."
Yep.
Not trying to be arrogant or conceited, but I knew. I said, "Girl, there is nobody else with a job but me." And by this time, like, Beautiful Soldiers was really out there. People were seeing the quality of the art. They were seeing everything. So because it was like in 2015 or 16, I think, or 17. No, it wasn't that long ago. It's probably about 2017. I want to say that. And and then it's just from history, and I've been with them ever since.
Nice, nice. Now Sean Mack is a good guy, and I used to talk to him, so I know he's all about business.
He
He
is.
wants to make sure everything is right. So everything that you learned from him, I can see it, carrying over to this Kickstarter.
Mm,
Like, and the Kickstarter, we haven't even talked about the Kickstarter yet. The Kickstarter, you launched it a few days ago. Your initial goal is 8,000,
yes,
and,
8,000.
and right there, you're almost there. You're at $6,872. When I checked earlier, so you're going to hit this goal in a few days. That has to feel amazing.
It it does. I'm not gonna lie to you, it really does. I'm really ready to hit the goal now so I can start going over and start planning for the stretch goals because I got some really cool stretch goals that I think people are going to love. So yes, I'm hoping in the next few days that I do hit the goal because I really want to start planning for the stretch goals.
Nice. Doing a Kickstarter, any kind of crowdfunding is always scary. It becomes a part-time job.
You know what? And I might sound like when we first got on the Zoom, I made it sounded a little stressed or a little like my energy was off. This Kickstarter has been fucking with me. It's fucking with my emotions. It's had me emotional. It's had me doubting myself as a creator. It's had me doubting Beautiful Soldiers. Am I really doing good? Are these numbers good numbers? Because this is my first Kickstarter. Like, I've worked with other people. Like, I worked with Dorothy on her Kickstarter. I worked with Catherine Calamia on her Kickstarter. Worked with what's his name, Chris Tomasma on his. Being editor with all these people, and so this is my first one, and I'm like, are these good numbers? Because I don't feel like they're good numbers, but people keep telling me like, yeah, these are like really good numbers to be 85% of my goal in like 3 days. So is that good? I don't know.
That is extremely good. See, one thing you've done, and I don't even think you realized it, over the course of all these years, you developed a lot of relationships with
Hmm.
people, and you promoted Beautiful Soldiers for all this time. So people have been waiting for this. They've been waiting on LaShawn to knock this Kickstarter out. So you built this hype up. So people have been waiting to support you. They believe in you.
Well, thank you, Art. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really need to hear that because, like I said, this is and I know you've seen a lot of Kickstarter, so I'm sure you would know. And like the interviewer was telling me last night, and even I had told him, I don't know if he was on here when I said this part, but Sebastian Jones, the creator of Niobe, I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Oh yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna interview him. We talked about it sometime before his new Kickstarter launches. I need to
oh,
hurry up.
Sebastian, that's my boo right there. When I tell you, I don't know how the hell he knew to call me. Art, I was at work yesterday. Yesterday was a really stressful. I mean, I'm telling you, this Kickstarter is just like fucking with me so badly. I was crying all day yesterday, and I'm like, I don't. My thinking about my mom too. it just it's just been really just messing with my emotions. And I was sitting at my little desk at work, and Sebastian, I looked at my phone, he was calling me, and he just knew something was wrong. And he was like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you doubting yourself? Why are you stressing yourself? Like, your Kickstarter, and I guess he would know since he is in the 80,000s and all of that. He was like, your Kickstarter is doing a good job, like real good. And he was like, and then he said something else that like surprised me because he was like, don't compare yourself to others.
Correct.
Like he said, that is the kiss of death. You are going to torture yourself if you compare what you making to somebody else. He said, what they make is what they make, and what you make is what you make, and that's
That's
all.
true.
When I tell you, Art, that was the best advice he could have gave me, because I don't know, it was like he just knew at that moment that I don't know how he knew to call me. It was so crazy, but he did, and I'm glad he did.
Now I'm glad he called you because I lately you've been doing these, like store updates videos, and people start looking forward to that. You're like, hey, we got this in, or whatever the case would be. We actually look forward to when you post those videos, those Facebook Live videos.
Yeah, I've tried to get into doing it more. And I kind of the last one I did was the day I was on the TV show. Well, not TV show, but the Facebook show, and I haven't really posted anything since then because it's like, okay, what next? So now I'm so happy that and thank you so much for having me on as well. I'm so happy that I finally got a chance to sit down with you. Um, I've been wanting to kind of get on your show for a minute, so this is really nice to have me on. And I told myself I'm going to be trying to reach out to other YouTubers to see if they can kind of help me push my Kickstarter a little bit to the YouTube fan base.
No, I appreciate it. I've been wanting to talk to you forever. It's like I said earlier, people respect your hustle. They respect your grind. They see what you're trying to do. And in regards to the Facebook, I knew someone right because I was like, Lashawn is on Facebook. She shows us, like, hey, I got this in, or I'm about to do this. We missed that. That's how I kind of got the feeling like she's either really busy or this Kickstarter is stressing her.
It is. It is stressing the shit out of me. Like, oh,
Now let's talk about Beautiful Soldiers. We're almost 30 minutes in. What is Beautiful Soldiers about? I know you were influenced by, Sailor Moon and, some other things, but what
mhm.
is this story about? And why should people go to Kickstarter right now and put their pledge in?
Well, okay. So, Beautiful Soldiers is about four young young women. Um, they're 18 and 19 years old, and they are descendants of an elemental race. They are half human, half elemental. And basically, the girls are trying to find a very powerful element. And this element is the fifth element. It used to belong to the elementals. Now, let me tell you about the elemental race. They are a very powerful race, very war oriented, very dominant. They're from a whole nother planet in a whole nother galaxy. And their planet is called Tizion 00T2. And with this planet, it's an energy planet. So it needs energy to sustain itself.
Hmm.
So the elementals have to constantly travel the universe and the galaxies, the other planets, taking that energy and that life source from those planets and bringing it back to their own to keep their planet alive. Okay. And what helps them do this a lot is the fifth element. That power is supposed to be on the power of God, creating life, creating death, evolution. And without giving the story away, many, many years ago, there was a group of scouters, because that's what the elementals do. Before they invade a world, they send a small group of scouters to that world to kind of, stake it out a little bit, gather
Yep.
gather information to take back to the army or the soldiers or the commanders, whatever you want to call them, so they can have a better plan on conquering that world, right? So, uh, when the scouters came to Earth, they end up taking the fifth element with them. So that's how the fifth element got taken away from the elementals, and that's how it got put on Earth. Fast forward to today, or to present day, the beautiful soldiers, they're trying to find that power because the elementals are on their way to Earth to find it themselves. And if they find that power, the first thing they're going to do is wipe out Earth, and they know that.
Nice. No, I'm loving this because while you were talking, I was thinking, oh man, I was like, what if Superman, if our alternative universe, he was really sent here to scout out the planet, kind of like Goku from Dragon Ball Z, but instead of sending a child, just sending soldiers and whatnot to be like, hey, can we take this planet over? Because I'm looking at this fifth element, I'm like, wow, it's literally draining the life force of a planet. That's
Yeah,
deep.
yeah. I'm really, really, really excited about people reading Beautiful Soldiers because in this first book, oh my God, I was my elementals, my villains, I love them. I have a whole chapter dedicated to them in the book, and that chapter is probably going to be the best chapter in the book. People are really going to get to see the world that they live on, how Mother and her generals, how they react to things, what their main mission is. Um, because I when I'm editor over a writer and I'm trying to help them, your villain has to be more interested than your protagonist.
I
Okay?
feel you. Yep.
Because a good villain will make a good hero. If you ain't got no villain and your villains ain't hitting no shit, everything everything else art does not matter if you do not have a good villain. And I wanted to make sure people love Mother. And her design, I'm so proud of my artist because he took the vision that I had and she looks fabulous.
Yeah, I'm looking at your Kickstarter page right now, and Mother has this big, what's that clown thing on her head, and that dress. The design work. Did you design these characters, or
I designed the beautiful soldiers, and I designed headmistress. I designed Adonis. I designed uh, Apollo,
it?
Eric, and Aiden. And I had to look for a mother.
Uh
So
huh.
I didn't design her per se, but I gave every bit of how she looks to my artist, and he took it and ran with it.
The
And
reason I ask is because I love the detail in all of these designs. There are no generic designs in any of these characters.
no, it's
I
not.
love that.
I want to let you in. I want to let you in on something too, Art. When I this goes to show like like the level of um creativity that I was at when I was 6 and 7 years old. That that she's wearing that see-through dress, that's a character that I had when I was 6 and 7 years old.
Oh dang.
Yes, but she been toned down now because it's not all. But when I was 6 and 7, honey, that dress was clear. You could see everything.
I'm looking at it now and I'm like, I want to see somebody cosplay as her.
Look, that would be a good cosplay. It would.
So, real quick, tell me who the beautiful soldiers are. Who's on this team, and what? Well, yeah. Tell me who the beautiful soldiers are, and what role do they serve on the team?
Well, the beautiful soldiers are, like I said, they're around 18 and 19 years old. The leader, Tara, um, her element is Earth. She's African American. She's from the Virgin Islands, and her mother is an elemental, and her father is human.
Hmm.
Um, she's the leader of the beautiful soldier. She's very serious, not too serious, but she takes leading the girl serious because in her mind, she's always in the book. You will see Tara fights with whether she's good enough to lead them to victory. Because when you have a whole team that you over and that you have to lead, that could be stressful.
That's true.
So that's one of the things that you will see in the book is Tara trying to find that balance of leadership and doubt within herself. You'll definitely see that in the book. And then the next one we have is Cassie. Um, Cassie is Caucasian. Her element is air. Her father is a elemental, and her mother is a human. Um, Cassie is like the typical California Valley girl. She is cool with everybody. She's very down to earth, laid back. Um, she's kind of like a little country girl in a way too. So she's a city girl mixed with a country girl. And Cassie is what you call like the motherly type. She's the one where if one of the girls is down, you can definitely expect her to be there to kind of make sure she's picking the girl back up, you know. But in the book with Cassie, one thing that you will see is Cassie, she's always concentrating and trying to put energy towards taking care of her friends, is that she lacks herself. So there's a chapter in the book that is dedicated to Cassie and what she does when she's able to just take some me time, you know. So
Oh, I like that.
I think people will really like that. And then the next one is Kasumi. Kasumi is Japanese. Her element is fire. Her father is human, and her mother is elemental. And Kasumi in the book, her personality is very serious. Now she's a serious one. She's the one who is down to the book. She's down to the bowl. She takes her role as a beautiful soldier very serious. She's very martial arts based, as also she's a Kanoichi. She's a female ninja. And her father, she's the only one whose parent is still alive. Her mother is dead because all the beautiful soldiers' parents are dead. But Kasumi, her father, who's human, she's the only one who has a parent that's still alive. But she does not talk to her father. They are in the most horrible relationship right now because Kasumi is technically the princess of her ninja clan, and he wants her to drop the whole beautiful soldier act and take over the ninja clan and her responsibilities there. So she doesn't want to completely let that part of herself go. So she's trying to find a balance between the two,
Yeah.
leading her ninja clan and her duties as a beautiful soldier. So you'll definitely see that. And because of that relationship that Kasumi has with her father, she hates men. Yes, like despises men. And in chapter 6, you'll see just how much she just can't stand them.
LaShawn,
Hmm?
again, my hat is off to you because when I asked you this question, the editor and you came out, and you're like, I have fully developed characters here. Because a lot of times it's the weirdest thing. I ask somebody to tell me about one character, and they can't tell me anything about them. So I
Really?
see you're a great editor because it's coming out. You're like, no, these are fully developed characters here. Let me tell
Well,
you about them.
thank you. I really appreciate that. Um, uh, I think, Pow Wow, she's She's the youngest one. She's the only one that's 18. The other girls are 19. Her element is water. And she's like the fun, happy go lucky girl. She's like the class clown. She's like the one that don't take her duties serious at all. And she's the typical she's definitely the nerd of the group. She loves anime, manga, music, uh, all of that. And in the book you'll definitely kind of see, but the one thing about her, what she lacks in discipline, she makes up in determination. And when it
Oh
comes
no.
to being there for her comrades and her beautiful soldiers, she is front and center, and she is definitely one of the girls you want to have on your side when you need somebody to battle with. So I think people will definitely see that. And the thing that people need to understand is that the beautiful soldiers have a mentor, which is head mistress. Head mistress is a full blood elemental. So when you think about that, the beautiful soldiers are trying to, they're gonna have to fight the elementals, but headmistress is a full-blooded elemental, so it's gonna be interesting to see that relationship between the four girls and headmistress. But she, that's all I'm gonna say on it. I don't want to give too much.
Okay, because I'm like the elementals are gonna look at her as a traitor. Like you betrayed us.
Mm.
You're like, okay, all right, we'll save it for the book. Save it for the book. I'm sitting there. I'm in awe of this artwork. So let's talk about the creative team. Who did you bring aboard for this journey?
um, let's see. Oh, it's a lot of them. You you want me to name all of them?
Well, let's let's stick to writer, artist. Yeah, we'll stick to the writer, artist, colors, and letter.
Okay. The writer is me. I wrote the book, but I do have Cassie's chapter is written by Andrea, my co-editor. So she's like a contributing writer. She's going to be helping me along the series, writing different stories, and I tackle whatever I tackle, and then I'll get her to tackle other stories that I need to be told. So, but the debut book is definitely written by me, with one chapter written by Andrea. And then my artist is Iwan. He is the lead. He's the lead artist of the series, and my lead colorist is Sebastian. Sebastian is just killing it right now in the industry. He's working on so many different Marvel books. He is on DC. He's on. I mean, every time I turn around, he got something else. And I asked him. I said, wait a minute. I said, what? I mean, what's the team? What's going on? You doing all this. But he assured me he is dedicated to Beautiful Soldiers. And that's all I needed to hear.
I
And
love that.
and then I got other chapters, like chapter one is drawn by Ton Lima and colored by Agri. And then my covers, well, actually, I got the last chapter is drawn by um the Power Ranger artist with Boom Studios, Hendry Preset. Yeah, he also did the main cover of the book, and he did like a bunch of other art for the book too. Kanan White, he's done all of my Kickstarter art. Um, Let me see. I had a guest artist with Marcus Williams. He did some stuff, and he still wants to do some stuff for Beautiful Soldiers. So I'm really excited about working some more with Marcus. And I tell a lot of my writers and creators, 'cause I had one of my kind of newbie writers was like, well, LaShawn, you always told me not to have different art styles in your book. I mean, in my book, but you have different art styles in yours. I said, well, that's the thing. I don't have a comic book. I have a graphic novel. And if
Mm.
you have a graphic novel, you can have multiple art styles and colors in your book if you want. But if you have a comic, which is only 22 pages, 20 to 24 pages, your colors and your art need to be consistent from front to back. Beautiful Soldiers is about almost 150, 160 pages.
And
So,
it's important to note that if you're listening, you're thinking about backing it. This is not a single issue comic book. This is a graphic novel. You will
Yeah.
get a complete story arc
Mm-hmm.
within this book.
Mm-hmm. And so that's what I make sure that I want people to know that, this is a hundred almost a this is about 150-page book. And you will get a lot of different stories in the book, and you'll get a lot of the book is very action packed. It's very action packed, and I almost had to kind of tone it down because it it's my first book. It's not going to be perfect. One thing I want to let people know now is that the book is very, very action packed. I'm talking like the first chapter itself almost is a whole fight scene. Almost.
Nice.
Oh, well, that made me feel good. You said nine because I was a little nervous. Um, but so what I end up, but see, I would the people need to understand. I've been working on this book for almost a decade, and that first chapter is Act One, and so that's what I started almost 10 years ago, and I was a newbie
Yeah.
then. So I was still new. And then over the years, as I got more experience and I grew, I said, oh shit, I can't have a whole book of a fight scene. So then what I ended up doing was I spoke to Sean because to turn it into a graphic novel was me and Sean was on the phone, and he was like, "Sean, you done took too long. You can't come out with no little floppy page book and expect to get a big reaction. You need to up it to a graphic novel." And I was like, but and by that time, Art, I had spent a lot of money on just that first comic. I was
Yep.
all done. Beautiful Soldiers would have been out almost about a year ago, almost probably 2 years ago. Had Sean not told me to do that, but that was some of the best advice he could have ever gave me. Because with that, I was able to squeeze in other story development and character development. And I'm so happy he told me to turn it into a graphic novel. Now going forward after this book, I don't know if it's gonna be a graphic novel because I that was a lot of money. So it might dip back down to a comic. I don't know. I'm debating on that.
No, I definitely can understand that. That was great advice. And graphic novels, they perform better when it comes to crowdfunding.
Yeah, they do. You're right. They do.
Plus, you can get them in bookstores and all that. Get into the Amazon program. There's a lot of stuff you can do with a graphic novel versus a comic book, especially when it comes to bookstores. They're like, we don't really sell comics, but they'll sell a graphic novel.
And you know what? Also, Art, one of the things I'm really excited for people to see in the book is I'm really ready for them to meet Adonis, which Adonis is the Earth General. I don't know if you ever seen a Netflix show called Black Summer.
No, I
It's a,
haven't seen that one yet.
it's a really good show. They just got picked up for their second season. Um, One of the main actors from that show, he's a sponsor for Beautiful Soldiers, and we modeled one of the villains after the actor. His name is Justin Chukari, and he is Adonis. And I'm so
Nice.
excited to see that. He actually has a perk as well. It's a $60 perk where you get the printed graphic novel, and you get like three art prints of Adonis, uh, um, featuring Justin Chukari, and looks just like him. And some of the conversations that me and Justin have been having, he's trying to get me some Netflix executives, a meeting with them, so I could kind of pitch Beautiful Soldier to Netflix. So just, I'm trying not to tell too many people, but just I want to go ahead and throw it in the atmosphere. And,
Exactly.
you
No,
know,
one of the things I like about this book uh, is that it's in a way you're correcting some wrongs that I'm 45. I grew up, in the 90s and the 80s,
I got
and watching cartoons and anime. We didn't see people like us. So for this next generation, you're creating a group of women, a group of young girls, a group of young women that people can see themselves in, whether they're black, white, brown, whatever the case may be, and it feels natural. It doesn't seem or feel forced. So I respect that.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that because in the beginning, our beautiful soldiers was called 10 years ago. It was called the Four Elements, and it was for black women. They were sisters and they were witches. That was the whole story idea before it got revamped. And I'm so happy I made the decision to make each girl multiracial because I wanted to get a piece of the pie from different races and grab different fans from different people. And I used to
Exactly.
um and there's nothing wrong with this, nothing at all. But I saw, I'm a Sailor Moon fan. If I can dress up as Sailor Moon, I would. But I'm a big girl, so I can't. But I be seeing like some black cosplayers dress up as Sailor Moon, or they'll dress up as Sailor Venus, or they'll dress up as some of the white characters, and I'm like, okay, that's cool and all. But I just feel like, oh, I just wish we had more for us to dress up as, like like Dorothy's character, Spirit Destiny. That's an awesome cosplayer right there. Tara, I feel like people would love to dress up as Tara, and then not just Tara. I got a white girl for a white character to dress up as, an Asian one for an Asian one to dress up as, an Indian one for an Indian one, like that. And and then now, since I've added on to my cast, I got Adonis. He's black. He's Blasian, black and Asian mixed together. Then I got Apollo, a dark skinned, bald headed black character. Uh, 'Cause, Aries, he's Asian. Aiden is white. So it's like I'm really proud that I've created like a diverse cast, like of characters.
What I'm hearing right now is you're talking to the cosplayer community like, hey, I got characters for y'all.
Yes, I have characters for y'all, and I would love for the cosplayers community to check them out because their outfits are cool, and people would be asking y'all every day, like, "Who are you? Who are you?" You get that every day. You sure will.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about the perks because
Okay.
you have a lot of cool perks in this for this campaign. So, what if people decide right now, I'm gonna stop the video, I'm gonna go to Kickstarter, back Beautiful Soldiers? What could they potentially get?
Um, they could get okay, so like $15. Like, let's say you don't have a lot of money, but you still want to try to support and you want to try to read the book so badly, but you can't get a printed copy. Then $15 will get you a digital copy of the book. Um, let's say you want a little bit more, you can do $20. That'll get you a copy of the book plus a screensaver for your phone and your laptop or your computer. And but then let's say you gotta have a printed copy of the book. The cheapest one next, because I had the early bird special for $25. That would have
I know
got you.
I'm mad I missed that.
Yeah, that one's gone now. So the next one is the $35 perk, which gets you all of the screensavers, the digital copy of the book, and a printed copy, and uh 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 the theme song. I have my own theme song for the book, which the beat for the theme song plays in my Kickstarter video, and that beat is hot. Okay, um, it's a beautiful song, and I have two songs. You can do $35 for the theme song, or $35 for the second song called "Win or Lose." So those are the two $35 perks, and you still get the digital copy of the book and the digital download for your um, tablet or whatever devices you have for the screensavers. And then I think I have a whole list of guest artists that have contributed art to the book. Like
Wow.
Mark Williams, he there's a perk for him that's $50. I skipped the ones that were like 40 and 45, but those are good too. I just want to kind of highlight Marcus because you get a printed copy of the book plus a signed print by Marcus Williams, and 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 the book, all the books will be signed by me for everybody. They'll get a signed copy of the book. But that Marcus Williams pledge, he's going to sign his art for anybody who pledges to that level. And then I have a level as well. Mine is $45, and that gets you a printed copy of the book. And I decided to draw Powwow, the water soldier, because people are always telling me I put her in the back of everything. She's the last one to get drawn. I try to squeeze her in the best I can. I say, you know what? Let me not do my girl like that. So I I decided to draw her on my perk, and I will sign that print as well. And then I think I also have like a T-shirt one where for $55 gets you the book and a Beautiful Soldier T-shirt in black or white, and you still get the digital download, and you get the screensavers and all of that stuff. Um, and then it's a lot of stuff, and I think I also had a um, I'm also doing like a reward milestone where every 50 backers, I reveal a digital book that everybody gets. I think like the first one I revealed was Niobe, She is Death, #1. Everybody gets that book. Everybody gets Vigilance, #1 by Michael Watson. Um, I go ahead and tell you #3 is going to be Mega Woman by Tyler Forrest Martin.
Oh, I reviewed that book. I love that book.
Yes, people are going to get that one, and then I'm also going to when if we reach 3, I'm going to throw in 4 anyway, and 4 is going to be Lewis Martin. I'm sorry, Luis Torres. Um, one of his books that he's going to contribute as well.
Nice.
Hmm.
You forgot to mention the cameo cover.
Oh yeah, people get a How much is that one? I forgot.
Three
Okay.
hundred dollars.
Yeah, $300 gets you a cameo cover where it could be your character and the Beautiful Soldiers or just your character on the book. But the thing is, your character's going to be legit, like beautifully drawn by artists who are doing all type of things in the industry right now. So yeah, I'm really excited to see if people. I think some people have bought that one. I'm not sure. I got to go in there and look. I
No,
think
they have. You
oh
got
they
yeah, you got a backer for that one. And the next one where you're pimping your services out, your editorial services out, you actually have three people in the goddess mode category that are backing the book and want your opinion to edit and feedback on their book. I
and
think that is
I'm
awesome.
so excited about that one. I cannot wait to get my name on some more books as editor, and I'm really looking forward to working with them too on their books. So yeah, that's definitely going to be one that I'm happy people gravitated towards that one definitely.
See, I like this. I like this. Okay, so right now the campaign has 26 days to go. I'm gonna put a link in the description. That way, people watching this, they're like, you know what? Let me check this book out. Let me check the campaign out. They can click right there, back it, boom, it's done. Where is the store? Where can people go visit LaShawn, talk shop with you, buy some comics? Where can they where can they see you?
My store is in Montgomery, Alabama, 1264 Perry Hill Road. And I encourage people to come and see the store. The store is doing very well. I'm so happy that it's doing decent during this whole pandemic thing because
Yeah.
I was not gonna let that stop me from trying, and I'm happy I did it because it's doing pretty good. And I have a website as well. So if you can't make it to the store, but you still want to buy something, everything that's in that store is online at comics and geeks.com.
I like that. I like that. Now,
Yeah.
before we go, I keep saying that. I do have another question. I've been wanting to ask you this question since you opened the store. What have you learned since you opened the store about comics as far as what the fans really want?
What I've learned that they want is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Um, what I've learned that people want is they want, honestly, they want new stories or just better stories because my indie section in my store is the top selling category.
Oh
And my
wow.
not saying my mainstream ones, they sell too, they do very well too. But for this month alone, in my indie category, people are loving it. My store has been said on my pages and for my customers that I'm the store to go to when you want you a good black book. I have a good selection of black books, and when I tell you, the customers come straight to it. And my store is also the store to go to in my city if you want for the indie section. Tuskegee Airs is the top selling book in my store for this month, and rightfully so. And I'm really proud of that. Um, People just want new stories and they want new. I've been saying it for a long time. Indie is going to be the next golden age, the golden age for comics.
I agree because I look at these Indiegogo campaigns and I look at the Kickstarters, and a lot of people are making more money off the crowdfunding campaigns
Mm-hmm.
versus if they got published by one of these publishers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making more money. So it's like, wait a minute, I don't need a publisher. I just made 10,000 here. I wasn't gonna make 10,000 with you putting my book in these stores.
That's
'Cause
right. Um, uh, and that's kind of like what I'm hoping for me. Going back to my Kickstarter, that's why I'm hoping in the next few days, like you were saying, I can go ahead and make my goal, so I can start planning for the stretch goals and getting ready to, hit the double digits. I really want to be one of them titles that make the double digits because it's a very exclusive list, and I really want to be one of the ones to say I was, up there in the teens or whatever.
Oh, you definitely are. Like, I'm just looking at your campaign right now. I'm like, you have 26 days to go. You're probably about 85% funded. I could see this probably closing out between 15 to 17,000. That's just my projections.
Really? Okay. Okay. I like that.
You're like,
And
okay, I can work with that.
yeah, I can definitely work with that. And I would be proud of that. And I think and then once I get ready to and then that's why I was thinking once I close out my Kickstarter, I'm probably gonna go to Beautiful Soldier just being a comic and hit them again.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Okay, so where can people find you on social media? Are you on Instagram? Are you on the Twitter?
I am on Instagram at beautiful underscore soldiers. And Twitter is team underscore underscore beautiful. And my Facebook is Lashawn Colvin. I always encourage people to send me requests. I post a lot on my personal page. And I also have a fan page for Beautiful Soldiers. Beautiful Soldiers graphic novel. And then my fan page for my store is Comics and Geeks, a beverage lounge. But all of them works together. If you follow one, you're gonna know what's going on in all of them.
Exactly.
Except Twitter. Twitter is like my powwow. That's the one I try to get to when I can.
I know the feeling. I've been